first, let's just fly through some transfers that are floating around that could potentially happen and give them a quick grade if you can. A, B, C, D, E, F. If any of them could be a failure. Let's start off with you, Sam. Bradley Barcola to Liverpool. This has been one that has been floating around. Liverpool, of course, needs something, anything, as our Stevie Nichols said yesterday. So what would you give this one if it happens?
Well, how much is it going to cost?
I mean, our Bet Lindop said around 150 million.
150 million euros. It's too much money, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's too much money. Come on. Barcola is a great player, but I would not be going to those figures for him. So if they spend over 100 million on Bradley Barcola, I will not be happy. And I do the grades for the ESPN website, and you will see that reflected in my grade. I'll be given that's a C all over if it's over 100 million. But if they manage to get that fee down south below 100, I'm listening, because Barcola is a very good, very fast, very instinctive player. And he's someone that they need.
All right. But as it stands for 150 million, he's giving it a C. Alex, for you, Bruno Guimaraes to your boys at Arsenal. I know this one should make you excited. So if it does happen, what you giving it?
I know, huge bias alert. There is no objectivity here. I like it. I like it a lot. Like I say, I think he is the kind of player that you hate playing against. Because he's difficult, because he's aggressive, because he can be nasty when he has to be. But I think he's a great all-round player. I think he'd fit in really well to Arsenal's midfield. I do think there's been an over-reliance on Declan Rice. Rice is incredible, but Rice can't do it all himself. He does occasionally need a break. We've seen, I think, Declan Rice in terms of injuries and his body over the last season. At times, Arsenal need to be able to give Declan Rice a break, and I think having Bruno in there would enable them to do that, as well as the possibility of playing alongside Declan Rice as an alternative to Zubimendi and others. I really like it if it happens. It might not be the most exciting transfer that Arsenal could pull off this summer. There've been some even bigger, even more exciting names linked, but I'd give it a solid B.
A solid B. All right. Next one now. One that I'm not sure we had or saw coming, but Chelsea doing some, dare I say, not conservative, but intelligent business, some may say, with Danny Welbeck and Jordan Henderson. The fact that they bring experience. What do you think of that one, Samuel? What would you give it?
Yeah, adults in the room for Chelsea. That's the need for sure. I'm really proud of them. Actually, they've managed to. They've signed a 32-year-old, not a 23-year-old. Finally, I don't know how much of a role Henderson plays on the pitch, but clearly he's someone that is going to step in and set some standards in the dressing room. Clearly, they've identified that as something they need. They went for Xhaka earlier in the window, didn't get him. Okay, Henderson at 36, best playing days behind him, but if Chelsea need this kind of presence in their dressing room, if that's what Xabi Alonso has decided, then who am I to argue against that? And Welbeck, similar, at age 35, still a very handy Premier League forward. Like, will probably score you 7 or 8 goals, and again, just be the third guy in that room and just complete it. So, yeah, I'm really proud of Chelsea. Really, really proud. They promised us to show personal growth after a period of introspection. Mm-hmm. That's a quote from them. I cannot believe the way clubs talk these days. But they've come out the other side of it. Their yoga retreat or whatever it was that they went to, and they've decided to start righting some wrongs. So well done.
Mature business from Chelsea. Love to see it. All right, next one now. And I feel like this has to be an A. Rodri to Real Madrid, Alex. What would you give it?
Yeah, no, I agree. A. I love Rodri. I couldn't understand the reluctance from Real Madrid to go for him. There has been a reluctance from right at the very top, from Florentino Perez down at Real Madrid to go for him. They've eventually just kind of given in to reality, really. Just watching the World Cup and seeing how good he is. Look, there were understandable doubts about his, the injuries that he suffered and where he is at this stage in his career. But we've seen he is still the absolute best in the world at what he does. Madrid's midfield has been a bit of a void in terms of this kind of player for a couple of years now, since Kroos and Modric went. Rodri deals with that. I think it's a brilliant signing. I think it makes a huge difference. It's part of the reason I think they might nick the title. So yeah, I'd give it an A.
All right, we got our first A, and final one now, Sam, for you, Savinho to Spurs.
Yeah, I just realised I didn't give you a grade for the Chelsea lads. B's all round for those guys.
B's, yeah, I figured it wasn't quite an A, but it shows signs of progress, so we'll give it a B.
For sure, yeah. Savinho, yeah. I mean, clearly there's a good player in there. We saw that at Girona. He was excellent, wasn't he? Let's be honest, absolutely excellent in that season for Girona. But the further away we get from that, the more nervous I get that we're just never going to see that again. So if this move helps spark him into life, well, that'll be long overdue. I'm concerned about the end product, but technically speaking, that's an excellent footballer. So around the 50 million mark, I would also be tempted to say B, shading towards B-. I think there's a lot more to come from Savio.